Hello, Chicago. Welcome back into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Football, football, football. That's the name of the game tonight on the program. The Bears may not be playing games, but there is plenty to be discussed and gone over as Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren are continuing the search for the next head coach of your Chicago Bears. Up to 20 names now have been mentioned in conjunction with the search. Is that too many? We will discuss that. We'll go over some of the newest names to be added to the list. Some of them have just been added within the last couple of hours as they are leaving seemingly no stone unturned. Elsewhere with the Bears, as we continue our offseason look, we're going to be diving into some of the free agent players that are set to come out of contract with the team. Should the team be looking to bring them back? I've got some guys ranked and tiered. We will go over that and dissect, and it's a great opportunity. We want to hear what your opinion is on those players as well. So great interaction with you, the fan listening in. And then finally, the Cubs found out this evening that they are off the list for an incoming free agent pitcher. We will discuss that at length next as well. All that and more coming up right now on Chi-Town Weekly. Let's go. Hello and good evening again, everyone. I am your host, Adam Karnick. So glad that you are here with us tonight on this Monday evening, January 2025. Obviously a big day in sports as we've got the NFL wildcard weekend is wrapping up as well. We're going to be talking a lot of football, a lot of Bears on the show tonight as the search for the next head coach continues. We've got some updates there. 20 names now that the Bears are talking to, or at least interested in for the opening. Some guys that they brought in last night, some guys that have been added to the list today. So lots to get to there with that. We will also look at the players that are coming out of contract with the team and see what guys should be made a priority, what guys would be nice to have back, and what guys do you just, we can leave them be. We can leave them alone. It'll be fine. And we'll just move on without them. So we've got some things going on there as well. And then we are going to talk some baseball here tonight as well, as the Cubs wound up on the short end of a stick as well for an incoming free agent of note. So lots to get to on the show here tonight. Plenty of opportunities for you guys to interact with the show as well. Drop a comment, hop on in. We can interact and have some dialogue there. So plenty of opportunity for you, the live listeners, to get involved as well. But before we get into all that, a quick word from our sponsors here on the show, and then we will dive right in. This is Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and Follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
And welcome back on into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Kernick back with you here on this Monday night. Glad that you are here with us. We're going to be talking a lot of Bears on the show tonight, lots of football. Before we dive into all that, though, I do want to let you know as we thank each of our sponsors for their support of not only this show, but of the entire station. Do want to let you know there is a new sponsor here for IE Sports Radio, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Get rawnutrition.com. When you go there, you can place your order. Use promo code IESR to get 10% off your order. So if you're a gym rat, you've got Vital Apparel so that you're looking good while you're working out, and then Raw Nutrition Supplements will help you get the most out of your workout. And for both of those, you can enter the promo code IESR at checkout to save a little bit of money while you're getting your new stuff as well. So we thank Raw Nutrition as well as Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Vital Apparel, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals for their support of the station. This show is available for you on social media. At Twitter, we are available at IESRC. You can also follow along with me personally on Twitter. I am at Adam_Kernick, or you can follow me on Blue Sky at AdamK87. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching the show live tonight, whether it's over Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing some support. And if you are listening later on in the week as a podcast, thank you too. I know that Monday night can be a very full night, and there's always things that are pulling on our schedule. So thank you for taking the time to make this a priority to tune in and listen. And And if you are listening live, hop on into the chat room. We got Taryn Rodriguez is here. Good evening, Taryn. He's pulling for the Rams, not only because he's a SoCal guy, but he's saying that a Vikings loss would make it a successful Bears weekend, right? Honestly, the Packers losing was really all I needed. If the Vikings lose, fine. That okay, sure. At the same time, if the Vikings win, good on them. I'm not going to be upset one way or the other. The Packers lost. Therefore, it was a successful weekend for me. What can I say? I'm a simple man with simple taste. So also Ralph Calise in the chat room. Good evening. Hoping to have a great show. Bear down. Absolutely. We're going to do our best. And actually, we're going to kick things off talking about those Bears as this head coaching search. Wow. Has it gotten big? My goodness. I love it. I love it. We are up to 20 names now associated with persons of interest. Either they have reached out to the Bears or the Bears have inquired about being able to talk to or interview these individuals. Up to 20 different names now that they've talked to. I love it. I am all for it. I know that there is a portion of the fan base that is it's starting to become a talking point in the around the city, around the sports landscape in Chicago, that this is too many, this is too much. How can you possibly keep this all straight? How can you keep everybody in mind who was who when you talked with them? There's too many people being involved in these interviews. I love it. I am all for it. The Bears have historically gotten it wrong when ever since Lovie Smith, John Fox was the wrong guy. Matt Nagy he had one great season. He ultimately turned out to be the wrong guy. And then you've had the Matt Eberflus. Holy cow, was that the wrong guy, the wrong time, the wrong everything. So I have no problems with them being different, being diligent, and being thorough. I would always rather that they talk to too many people than not enough. And 20 is a lot. 20 is a lot. We've had a few names kind of get added to the list over the last day and a half. Ron Rivera went in and had a sit-down interview with the team last night after all the games were done. That was a late night for Poles and Warren and Rivera. That's an interesting name to keep an eye on. Rivera wouldn't necessarily be the top of the list for me, but boy, that's a name that I could get behind. Absolutely. I'd have no problems with them hiring him, ultimately deciding that Rivera is the guy. You want to talk about a pedigree of running a tight ship and being able to get things done. I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't have too big of an issue with that. Plus he's a former Bear, so there's things to like there. They have expressed a renewed interest in talking to Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. Now that one I can't possibly see actually coming to fruition. Freeman just signed a contract extension with Notre Dame. They beat Indiana a few weeks ago, back almost a month ago now. They beat Indiana to advance into the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, and Notre Dame was immediately there with fresh paperwork, fresh money. He's now got a contract that carries him through 2030, and I believe I heard he's making $9 million a year. that's a lot of money that the Bears would have to pay out to Notre Dame to have to lure Marcus Freeman away. I can't see that happening. I can't see that one happening at all. And then the big news of the day that came down late this morning, early this afternoon, Mike McCarthy is in essence being fired from the Dallas Cowboys after the Bears had requested permission to interview McCarthy. The Cowboys denied that request, but then they're not going to be giving McCarthy a contract extension. So Mike McCarthy is now a free agent. He is a coaching free agent and is able to look wherever he pleases for a job. That's the one name on the list that I want nothing to do with. I'm you know what? Been there, done that. Don't need that. I would rather the Bears talk to anybody else other than Mike McCarthy. I am not interested in the slightest in Mike McCarthy. Not even a cursory sit down and tell us what you think about our organization. How would you do things? Nope. I want no part of that. I am all good there with Mike McCarthy. That's the one guy where it's nope. I will take anybody else on the list besides him. I would rather the Bears interview Matt Nagy than bring in Mike McCarthy for a job interview. And nope, I am all set there. I don't need that. Don't need. Well, if Jerry Jones has decided that, you know what, I don't think I want you to be my coach anymore, you're well past your expiration date as a coach. That's my opinion on that. He holds on to coaches forever, well past their best by date. I don't need them to talk to Mike McCarthy, but it's a new wrinkle in this because now you've got another team. We're back up to 6 now because Mike Vrabel is off the list. Mike Vrabel, it was officially announced yesterday that Mike Vrabel has signed a deal with the New England Patriots. And this was a guy that some people in the Bears fan base were clamoring for. We're making a lot of noise, and it makes sense. He was a successful head coach with Tennessee. He obviously runs a very tight ship. Of all the Bill Belichick disciples, he's the one that has come closest to replicating not just the persona and the personality of Bill Belichick, if you want to use that word, but the on-field success also that Belichick had and Belichick enjoyed in his time with the Patriots with Tom Brady during their dynasty years. So I understand why there were a lot of Bears fans clamoring for it. And Vrabel would have been, I would not have been upset had Vrabel been the choice. And he would check a lot of boxes. He would make a lot of sense. I never really felt like Vrabel was going to be anything other than the Patriots head coach, though. And I know I'm not alone in that. I'm not breaking any earth-shattering news by saying that. That was when the Patriots learned that Mike Vrabel was going to be interested. Everybody just kind of knew, oh, well, that's where he's going to wind up. That was just kind of the general consensus was he's going to New England. It's just a matter of when. So good on the Bears to show some interest and talk to him. I hope they picked up something. I hope they learned something from that, but I'm not surprised that he's going to New England. I am a little surprised that as soon as Vrabel, it was announced, there was a portion of the fan base that is saying, oh my gosh, the Bears are taking too long. They've got too many names on this list. They better hurry up or they're going to miss out on their guy. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about them missing out on their guy. Like, is it April yet? Commenting on Twitter. If the Bears hire McCarthy, I'll literally laugh myself to death. I would go full Adam Sandler mode from Saturday Night Live. Give me the cancer now, God. I want nothing to do with McCarthy. I want absolutely nothing to do with Mike McCarthy and the Chicago Bears. Stay as far away from that as you can get. I want absolutely nothing to do with that. But I'm not worried about this process taking too long. Let's be honest. There are some high-profile guys, i.e. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn and Cliff Kingsbury, that they literally can't hire yet because they're still coaching in the playoffs. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the kudos. Is it April yet? Thank you. Apparently I'm a smart man. Well, thank you. I'll take the compliment. I will take the compliment. Thank you, sir. There's so many guys on the list that they can't talk to, that they're just not allowed to talk to yet. Or not, I shouldn't say not allowed to talk to, not allowed to hire yet, because they're still involved in the playoffs. Ben Johnson being chief amongst all of them. And we'll have that discussion of, should Ben Johnson be the favorite? Should Ben Johnson be the guy that they hire? Should it be Ben Johnson, or should it be somebody with some head coaching experience already, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is, if Ben Johnson's your guy, you can't hire him. So you may as well, fill the time, learn all you can, be as prepared as you can. And Ben Johnson did interview with the team over the weekend, and reportedly it went well on both sides. Reportedly, he and Poles had a very nice discussion. They were able to have an idea of what working together would be like. It reportedly went very well. We'll see how it turns out. Clearly, Ben Johnson is the biggest name in this cycle, in this hiring cycle, and he might be the Bears aren't the only ones that are going to talk to him. The Patriots, even though they knew they were going to hire Mike Vrabel, they went and talked to Ben Johnson. Vegas is desperate to talk to Ben Johnson. Jacksonville wants to talk to Ben Johnson. He's the big man on campus right now. So I'm not worried with how many names they're bringing in. I'm not worried with how long this is taking, because right now it's not long. We aren't even on a wild card weekend yet. The final game of the wild card round is being played tonight. This isn't long. If it were February 13th and we're having this conversation, all right, then there's some cause for concern, because at that point, kind of, what are you waiting for? Why are you still talking to guys? You should be hiring guys at that point. But it's January 13th. There's only one opening that's been filled to this point, and it was filled by such an obvious candidate that it surprised literally no one when it happened. So there's no reason to be up in arms. There's no reason to be concerned yet if you're a Bears fan. They're going to lose out on their guy. A boo. This is no time to panic. We're not to that point yet. One thing we are at the point, though, sticking with Bears, is we can talk free agency. Now, some of this obviously will be dependent upon how the coaching search goes, but we can have a look at the pending free agents. And I've come up with a little ranking system, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. So give me some names. Who are some pending free agents that you hope the Bears show some interest in? Tell me some guys that you need them to keep. You would love for them to keep. Make it happen. Give them whatever they're asking for. Make it happen. Who are some guys that you'd like the Bears to keep that, all right, this is a good player. If the situation's right, yeah, I can see him being back. And who are some guys that you know what? Let him go. Let him test free agency. And then if they come back to the Bears, great. And if they don't, good luck to you, sir. We will discuss that on the flip side of the break here. You are listening to Chi-Town Weekly, part of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
And welcome back into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick back with you here, breaking down everything with the Bears. We talked all about the head coaching search in the first segment. Now I want to talk about free agency a little bit, and specifically, I want to talk about the pending free agents for the Bears. I've got overthecap.com, their list here of all the Bears that are coming out of free agency. Now, it's a super long list. We are not going to talk about literally every single player on the list. It's way too many. It's way too long. And frankly, there's a lot of them that they would all fall into one category. So I don't want to dive into every single individual player. At the same time, if there's somebody in particular that you want to discuss or you want to talk about, drop it into the comments, drop it into the chat. I will be happy to talk about a specific player if you have one that I don't bring up. So please, by all means, drop it in. Basically, when I was looking at this, I was basically trying to come up with 3 tiers: love, like, or leave. Love is, this is a guy that I want them to bring back. I want the Bears to make this pending free agent a priority. Do what you have to do to make this man happy. The Bears have a wealth spring of salary cap space. Let's see, per over the cap, for example, the Bears right now they're certainly in the top 10 in cap space. They are 7th in the NFL in cap space right now at just a shade over 66 million in cap space. They've got not even $2.5 million in dead money, which isn't the lowest in the league. My gosh, the Steelers don't even have 50 grand in dead money. Now that's, my gosh, that is living life large doing that there. That's fantastic. And their effective cap space is their effective cap space is basically $54.5 million that they've got to play with for this season. So they've got room, they've got the capability, they've got the flexibility. So the love ranking, this is a guy that I absolutely want to come back. This is somebody that I want the Bears to make a priority. Like, it would be really nice if this guy would come back, but it's got to be the right circumstances. You hear the phrase all the time, oh, well, if the money's right. Essentially, that's what like is. If the money is right, yeah, bring this guy back. Don't necessarily break the bank to make sure that this guy gets here. But hey, if he comes back with terms that are acceptable to you and you like him, absolutely get this guy on board. Leave, let the man test free agency. Let him jump off and see what offers come his way. And then if he comes back to you and, hey, there was nothing really that piqued my interest, would you guys be willing to have me back? Yes or no? Take it or leave it. Here's our offer. So now that we've kind of laid the ground rules there in mind, we're going to bounce around. And if you have somebody that you have an opinion on with those ground rules, please hit me, whether you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Or if you're listening later on in the week as a podcast, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Blue Sky. You see the links there at Adam_Karnick for Twitter or at AdamK87 on Blue Sky. Let me know who are some guys that you love, like, or leave for the Bears free agent class. We'll just kind of try to go with some of the bigger names for the Bears. A guy that I'll start here with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, to me, I put him very much in the like category. He is 33 years old. He's going to turn 34. Let's see, when is he going to turn 34? I believe it's before the season starts. Will be when he turns 34. They got his birthday on here. They do not actually have his birthday on there. So, but I believe he will be 34 before the season starts. He was acquired, of course, in a trade. So he's never done a deal with the Bears before. I would like to have Keenan Allen back. He definitely falls in that like category for me. And he has made it known his preferences are to either play in Chicago or Los Angeles next season. And if it's not with the Bears, it will either return to the Chargers or maybe go play for the Rams. And perhaps he feels that either of the LA teams gives him the best opportunity to go ring hunting one more time before he calls it a career. I imagine whatever this next contract is that he signs, I imagine is probably going to be his last contract at this point. His numbers from this season, he only coming off of 108 catches the year before. This only 70 catches. This is the lowest amount of catches he's had in a season where he's played at least 13 games ever. So this was very much a down year for Keenan Allen. Not what you were hoping to have, certainly, when they acquired him, and certainly not, in a contract year. Before this, the lowest catch total he'd had in a season before this, he's only had under 70 twice. 2 years ago in 2022, when he only played in 10 games, and in 2015, his third year in the league, he only played in 8 games that season. Otherwise, he's had at least 71 catches every year, and he's had, most years he's had well north of 90. So this was a very, very down year for Keenan Allen. You've got DJ Moore under contract. You just drafted Rome Odunze, who last week I brought up and mentioned that Rome, to me, was very underwhelming as a rookie. And that could be in part because Keenan Allen and DJ Moore were there and got so much attention. At the same time, he and Caleb Williams obviously developed a rapport, and Williams is the future of this franchise. If he goes to bat for Keenan Allen, I would put some weight behind that. That would cause me to that I would take that into consideration. I would weigh that in, that, oh, my quarterback really likes this guy and really does want him back. All right. But you've got to fix the offensive line. You've got some other things that need to be settled and worked on to aggressively pursue a 34-year-old wide receiver. I don't know. Like I said, I would like to have him back, but it's definitely going to have to be under the right circumstances there for the Bears. Another interesting name on the list to me, Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins is going to be an unrestricted free agent, and he's going to be 20. I believe he's going to be 27 when the season starts. I would love to have Tevin Jenkins back. That I teetered back and forth on this one, because I know that with Tevin Jenkins, you're signing him. You cannot count on him for anything like 17 games. You've got to know that you're just not going to get him for a full season. This past season was actually the most healthy he has been. He played in 14 games this season for the Bears. That's the healthiest Tevin Jenkins has been in his career. So going in that you're not going to get a full season out of the guy. Still, I would love to have Tevin Jenkins back. He is an excellent offensive lineman when he is out there, when he is healthy. He's got the right amount of nasty that you need to have in your offensive lineman. And I also really appreciate the effort that he put in, that when things didn't work out at left tackle and they didn't work out at right tackle, and he was told basically, dude, the only way you're making this team and the only way you're going to see the field is if you go figure out guard. And we'll help you. We'll make sure you're not doing anything wrong, but we're not necessarily going to be, making you a priority to get this figured out either. And he went and did it. I still think back to a couple seasons ago when they lined him up next to Darnell Wright at right guard, and just how well that worked on the offensive line, how they were able to move guys off the line and get the run game going. That would be my plan with Tevin Jenkins. I would love to re-sign him, and I would plan on using him at right guard, putting him next to Darnell Wright and fixing that spot. Yeah, yes, he has the athleticism to play left guard, and it's not a knock on his ability there, but he and Darnell Wright work so well together that I just would want to put him there and know that every time you've got those two out there, good things are going to be happening. Yes, it doesn't necessarily fix the problem because of his health concerns, because of his injury history. Unfortunately, you're going to need to have a solid backup plan there for him for the 4, 5, 6, 7 games that he's likely to miss. But I really love Tevin Jenkins. I would love to have him back as a Bear. Bouncing around a little bit here with some of the different games. And again, if there's anybody that you have in mind of who you'd want to see the Bears love to bring back, like to bring back, anything like that, let me know in the comments section. I want to look at the long snapper position for a little bit here for just a second, because it's interesting. Both of the Bears long snappers, both Patrick Scales and Scott Daly, are coming out of contract. They're going to be free agents. I don't necessarily have a preference one over the other, but I do think you need to make it a priority. I would love for the Bears to re-sign one of them. I know long snapper is one of those positions that you think about it. Really, long snapper, you're going to make that a priority for this team? Really? Isn't that like drafting a punter in the 4th round? Long snapping, though, I know it's an overlooked spot, but just ask Cole Kmet how important that is when you don't have one. I would prioritize both Patrick Scales and Scott Daly have done well for the Bears long snapping. I would love to have one of those guys back. I would make getting one of those guys back a priority for the Bears, because then you have it taken care of and you're all set. Some other names here on the list. Doug Kramer is I would like to have Doug Kramer back. Yes, I know obviously you have the concerns there with the fumble on the goal line. I don't blame him for that, though. That's not, to me, a fault of his. He got put in to a wrong spot at the wrong time. That falls on the coaching staff. That's not on Doug Kramer. I would like to see the Bears bring Doug Kramer back. I think, especially with center being a position that they still really haven't shorn up, I would like to see him come back. Don't necessarily guarantee him anything, oh, you're going to be the starter, anything like that. He'd have to earn his stripes there, but I would like to see them bring him back. At the same time, if they choose to let him test free agency, or he decides to test free agency, that to me, that's fine. Let him go and do that. I wouldn't break the bank for him. Larry Borum, to me, that's a guy that I definitely would leave. Yes, that's a former Bears draft pick. He has fallen out of favor with the current coaching staff. He didn't show you very much this season. I would be just fine with him leaving. Coleman Shelton, he played almost 99% of the snaps for the Bears this season. Honestly, I'd have him as a leave. Let him test free agency. And if anybody makes him an offer that, oh, wow, great, go take it. Absolutely. Coleman Shelton, to me, really did not impress as a center this season. I would like to look elsewhere. Two others here that we'll do, and then we'll wrap up this segment. Love, like, or leave for the Bears free agency. Obviously, they've got a lot of pending free agents. I'm not going to go through all of them, but a couple more here. Bill Murray, he'd be a fun. I would like them to bring Bill Murray back, just simply for if nothing else, for the name. But I'd understand if they let him test free agency. Jack Sanborn would be a guy I would like to see the Bears make a move to. Now, he's only a restricted free agent. He's only accrued, I believe it's 3 seasons. Yeah, he's only accrued 3 seasons at this point in the NFL. So any deal that Sanborn would get, the Bears would have the opportunity to match and keep him a Chicago Bear. So I think it's very likely that Jack Sanborn comes back. I would like to see Sanborn come back. I wouldn't necessarily make him a priority, but I would like it if Sanborn came back. Also along those lines, quarterback Jalen Jones, young corner, 28 years old. He's also a restricted free agent. He's accrued 3 seasons. I liked some things that I saw from him this season. I would like it if the Bears would offer him a contract instead of waiting for the league to kind of dictate terms for him. If you've got somebody that you've got strong opinions on, though, drop it into the chat. Absolutely. Comment on it on either Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Or if you're listening live later on as a podcast, hit me up at Adam_Karnik on Twitter or at AdamK87 on Blue Sky, and we can have a conversation and go back and forth. We're going to take one more quick break, and then we're going to shift gears, and we're going to talk some baseball. The Cubs, they got some bad news tonight regarding Roki Sasaki. We're going to talk about that a little bit before we get out of here and try to figure out what the next step might be for the boys in blue. You are listening to Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies,
And your one-timers,
you wicked wristas.
and be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode. And welcome back into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, you can catch myself and Zach tomorrow night right about this time tomorrow evening. We'll be talking all things hockey. The Blackhawks playing tonight against the Calgary Flames. Last I saw, it was not going well for the Hawks at all, and it's gotten even worse. It is 4-1 Calgary early in the second period, so not going well for the boys over in the Madhouse tonight. But I do enjoy talking some hockey as well. But we are going to be talking some baseball before we wrap things up on the show here tonight. Cubs got some bad news that Japanese phenom pitcher Roki Sasaki has informed Major League Baseball clubs of his finalists, and the Cubs are not on it. It is down to just 3 teams left that Sasaki has announced who he intends to play for next season. And it is going to be either the Blue Jays, the Padres, or, let's face it, the team that has no problem ever spending money and just rewrites the contracts that the $1 billion they owe somebody. Well, they'll just actually pay off most of that in 2050 to the kids, to the players' grandkids or something. The Los Angeles tax cheating Dodgers. No, I'm not bitter about it at all. It's a thing that frustrates me so much about baseball, another sport that I enjoy watching, and MLB in particular I enjoy, but my gosh, the owners. Bears fans complain about the McCaskies being cheap. Everybody in MLB is apparently run by the McCaskies, with the exception of the Dodgers and the Yankees. Everybody is just, we can't spend money. We can. What do you mean? We have to spend money to get players? Preposterous. They should just be happy to wear the pinstripes of whatever team we are. Rebel, rebel, rebel. Rouse, rouse, rouse. Grumble, grumble. Complain, complain, complain. Just open up the checkbooks, darn it. Nobody cares how fiscally sound you are when you're winning championships. They really don't. They really don't. So anyway, now that I'm getting off my soapbox a little bit, sorry about that. So Roki Sasaki has made his announcement that it's down to just 3 teams, and the Cubs are not one of them. I had some hope this afternoon. I really was hoping, because some of this list came out earlier in the day, that there were some teams that he specifically pointed out and said, I'm not going to this team. I'm not going to that team. I'm not going to this other team. The Giants were one. The Yankees and the Mets, both New York teams, got knocked out in an earlier release today. And as I was looking through it, the Cubs are still on. The Cubs are still on there. The Cubs are still on there. This will be excellent, great, fantastic. And then just as I was leaving work and getting ready for the show, I saw that this just in. He's narrowed it down to these 3 teams, and the Cubs aren't on it. And it was, never mind. So now what do the Cubs do for their rotation? Well, pitchers and catchers report in a little less than a month, but this is MLB. There are still qualified, capable pitchers out there to be had. As I'm pulling up the list here real quickly on Spot Rack, and we're going to be going over some of these starting pitchers, because for the Cubs, you can never have too much pitching, whether it's in the rotation, whether it's in the bullpen. You really can't have too many starting pitchers. So as we're pulling up the list here, and I want to make sure that it's refreshing, and I'm going to be talking about here is going to be accurate. So I'm giving Spot Rack here a minute to refresh and pull some things out as it's filtering and sorting. But I do want to see some spending from the Cubs. They've been aggressive this offseason. They've thrown some money around. They have thrown some prospects around. They have shown that they're willing to make some moves. This division is still able to be had. You don't have to settle here. You can and you should be trying to win this division. If you're the Cubs, it is there to be had. It's there to be had for you. You should be having it. And it's taking it a minute here to load everything. I apologize for this, as this is taking longer than I expected that it would over at Spot Rack. So I apologize. It's what I get for not just having it sitting there waiting for me. Max Scherzer is still available at 40 years old. Maybe that could be somebody. But I don't know if that's necessarily the way I would want to go. Jack Flaherty is still out there. He's an unrestricted free agent from the Dodgers, 29 years old. That's somebody that I would be okay with the Cubs pursuing and looking to bring in. Some other starters. You've got some older guys there. Jack Flaherty being only 29 years old. I like that for the Cubs. of having a little bit younger of a guy, but with major league experience. You can have him for a few seasons. It's not just going to necessarily be a couple years and then done. It could be you have him for 4 or 5 serious seasons of contention. A lot of the other guys on the list at this point are guys that are a little bit older, a little bit longer in the tooth as well. So you don't necessarily want to go that route. Jose Quintana is 36. Kyle Gibson is 37. Ross Stripling, 35. Andrew Haney, 33, a 33-year-old lefty. Maybe you've got something there. Lance Lynn. Now that would be interesting. That would be an interesting move to bring Lance Lynn back to Chicago, but it would be with the Cubs instead of the White Sox. That could be an interesting move, but still the Cubs, they're going to have to look elsewhere and think elsewhere, because Roki Sasaki has narrowed his list down, and the Cubs unfortunately do not make the final cut. That is going to do it for our show here tonight. Thank you. Big thank you to all of our sponsors for tonight. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The jerky that's a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. I would encourage you to try the volcanic jalapeno, my personal favorite there. I just want to send my microphone flying, just thinking about it. You can also follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Also, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Place your orders by going to iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Follow them on Instagram at @Seal_Wax Seals. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the performance apparel company a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com and place your order. Enter promo code IESR at checkout to get 15% off your order. And then also be sure to check out Raw Nutrition Supplements. You're working out, you're doing Vital Apparel, you're going to be planning some workouts, so you're going to need some supplements to help your recovery and help make those workouts as efficient as possible. Go to getrawnutrition.com, and when you place the order, use promo code IESR for 10% off of your order. Thank you to all of our sponsors there. Thank you also to Larry B., the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for all the hard work you're doing behind the scenes here. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Thank you for everybody hanging out in the chat room with me tonight. Karen Rodriguez, Ralph Calise, and Big Mike. Thank you for hanging out with me in the chat room here tonight. Finally, thank you, all 285 of you that were watching the show live tonight, and to everybody else listening to the show live as a podcast on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Whether this was your first show or you've been here for all 216 episodes, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know a Chicago sports fan? Share this show with him. That or her. That would make me happy. We'll see you next week.